Welcome to KinoCheck News, bearing the most important news and informations from Hollywood and the world of movies. This time, the teaser trailers for 2 Star Wars series have been leaked. Cyberpunk 2077 will become a live-action series, and the half-finished Daredevil series will completely start over. We also have news on the 2nd season of One Piece, a prequel to Ocean's 11, starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, and much more. Here are the details. Are Barbie and Ken up to no good? After the mega success Barbie, Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling are returning to the camera hand in hand to star in a new spin-off of the popular Ocean's 11 series. Released in 2001 and starring George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, and Julia Roberts, the road comedy Ocean's 11 was not only a financial success, but also enjoys cult status now. Over the years, 3 more films followed, including a female version starring Sandra Bullock, Cate Blanchett, and Anne Hathaway. Since the series continues to enjoy great popularity, Warner Bros. Is now planning a prequel to Ocean's 11, precisely with Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. Josie McNamara, who will produce the prequel, already expressed his anticipation about the casting of the 2 superstars in an interview with Variety. Preferably, he said, they would like to immediately take on a series of productions in which Gosling and Robbie would be involved. According to initial information, the story of the new Ocean's film will be set in the 1960s and will focus on a shipping magnate and his yacht, which will be targeted by the duo. The prequel is said to be inspired by the films of Grandmaster Alfred Hitchcock, for example, the classic To Catch a Thief. According to director Jay Roach in an interview with Associated Press, the film will be a mix between love story, adventure, and heist movie and will be a great cinematic spectacle. We'll continue to keep an eye on the project. Jamie Lee Curtis as Dr. Kureha in the 2nd season of One Piece? According to co-showrunner Matt Owens at least, who has already spoken out positively about the possibility of casting the actress. The 1st season of One Piece was a phenomenal success for Netflix. In Season 2, additionally to the already familiar characters, some new characters should be joining the cast, including Tony Chopper and Dr. Kureha. According to initial information, a suitable actress already seems to have been found for the latter. We're talking about Halloween star Jamie Lee Curtis. In an interview with Deadline, Matt Owens explained that they are currently working on giving Jamie Lee Curtis the role. The actress had shortly before communicated to have absolute interest in playing the character. Whether or not the role will ultimately go to her will depend on the current course of the actor strike. However, Owens has already announced that the 64-year-old actress will definitely be cast in the project somehow. Trailer leak at Disney. Next year, 2 new Star Wars projects in the form of the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew should be presented to us. Both of them already aroused the interest of fans shortly after their announcement. The fact that the first teaser trailers of both series have now been leaked is likely to cause a lot of trouble within the company. The videos have been circulating the web for several days and are being shared on all social networks. A few days later, an entry was made at the US Copyright Office which revealed that Skeleton Crew will be released in January of 2024. The assumption that Disney is reacting to the trailer leaks with this entry is obvious. Skeleton Crew is set shortly after the fall of the Galactic Empire and addresses a group of children who experience a series of adventures. In addition to Jaleel White, known to many as Steve Urkel on the sitcom Family Matters, the show will also feature Jude Law in a major role. The Acolyte, on the other hand, is set 100 years before the events of Star Wars Episode 1 and will show us a whole new side of the Sith. Several prominent names have already been confirmed for the project. Among others, Matrix star Carrie-Anne Moss, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies actress Amandla Stenberg, and Squid Game star Lee Jung-jae are involved. If you want to learn more about the title, feel free to check out our series preview. The controversial game becomes a live-action show. After The Witcher, the next implementation of a CD Projekt Red game is on the horizon, Cyberpunk 2077. The US film production company, Anonymous Content, will be responsible for the realization of the hyped game. This is an independent producer that has already released several celebrated titles such as True Detective, Mr. Robot, and The Revenant. In a statement to the press, game developer CD Projekt Red announced that they are currently looking for a writer to tell new stories from the world of Cyberpunk. Since the game came with an impressive cast, the question whether actors like Idris Elba or Keanu Reeves could also find a place in the series arises. Since the project is currently still in an early phase of development, no information about a cast or a storyline of the Cyberpunk 2077 series is known yet. Last year, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, an anime series for the game, was already released. The 10 episodes are currently available on Netflix. No good prospect for Daredevil. Marvel is discarding the already shot footage for the reboot Daredevil Born Again and is said to begin a complete restart. This will also likely cause further resentment among fans. Daredevil Born Again is, without a doubt, one of the very big series projects that are eagerly awaited by the crowds. However, the production of the series repeatedly got bad attention because of producing issues. As The Hollywood Reporter now reports, Kevin Feige is said to have looked at the already completed material of the series during the actors and writers' strike. His judgment? The series simply does not work in this form. As a result, all the writers and directors who were responsible for the project were fired. Instead, a new creative team is currently being sought to revive the superhero series from scratch. Only individual scenes, if any from the previous work, will be used for the reboot. These developments are likely to ensure that a release of the series will continuously be delayed. Currently, January 2025 is being targeted. The Hollywood Reporter also suspects that the current events surrounding Daredevil Born Again could also be related to structural changes at Marvel. The studio has moved farther away from its traditional way of working with series and ordered complete seasons instead of pilot episodes. With huge budgets sometimes, the projects were then shot without even knowing whether they would work out in the end. As a reaction to this, Marvel is now planning to work again more closely with showrunners and executive producers for its own TV division in order to ensure a better quality of their projects. Viewers would certainly be more than grateful for that. The legendary duo returns. 23 years after the highly celebrated World War II epic Band of Brothers, Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks are teaming up again to present Masters of the Air, another series that is likely to follow the tradition of its predecessors. With the 2001 World War II series Band of Brothers, Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks may have undoubtedly written TV history. The impressive show, which told the story of an elite group of paratroopers during World War II, convinced with great and detailed settings and a rousing story, 6 Emmys were the result. The sequel, The Pacific, was convincing as well and won another 2 Emmys. With Masters of the Air, another sequel will follow next year, which will tell us the story of the 100th Bombardier Group of the U.S. Air Force during World War II. The storyline of the show is based on the eponymous novel by Donald L. Miller, and will this time be directed by James Bond director Cary Joji Fukunaga. Produced by Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks, the series features a phenomenal cast, with leading roles played by Elvis star Austin Butler and the Banshees of Inisherin actor Barry Keoghan and Callum Turner of the Fantastic Beasts series. In the course of announcing the launch date, Apple released a bunch of first images that show us the cast of the show. Among other things, we see Butler and Keoghan in a pilot's uniform standing in front of an Air Force fighter plane. The miniseries will premiere on Apple TV Plus on January 26, 2024, and will hopefully build on the quality of its forerunners. We are excited. With Heat, director Michael Mann may be responsible for one of the greatest films of the 90s, which still enjoys great popularity almost 30 years later. Now the director announced that a sequel to the classic will be following. The rumor that Michael Mann is flirting with the idea of a sequel to Heat has been spooking through Hollywood for several years. Now the director confirmed to Collider that the film will be on his next project. It'll be based on the novel of the same name, which he published together with author Meg Gardiner during the shooting of his new film Ferrari. The book picks up directly at the end of the first part and tells us the story of Al Pacino's policeman, Hannah, who searches for clues in the house of Robert De Niro's character, Macaulay. In the course of the investigation, Macaulay's past is brought up, so he will also be playing a leading role in the sequel. Since Heat 2 is a mixture of sequel and prequel, Macaulay will return in a younger form. According to rumors, Adam Driver will take over the role of the gangster and thus succeed Robert De Niro. Driver already starred in Mann's new film Ferrari and seems to have made an impression on the director. Who will this time take over the role of Hannah is not yet known. A younger version of Val Kilmer's character, Chris Shiherlis, an important part of Macaulay's gang, is also expected to appear in the film. When Heat 2 will finally be released remains to be seen. For now, Michael Mann's biopic Ferrari, which will be released in the US on December 25, 2023, is waiting in the wings. That was a lot of news, so we hope you feel very well informed now. For more detailed information, make sure to also check out our newest originals on The Joker 2 and How to Train Your Dragon live-action remake. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like our videos. What do you think about the latest news? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.